moving from one hellscape of Los Angeles to another hellscape of New York City. Apparently, as New York City's migrant spending has topped a whopping $10 billion.
See, they are, Mondami and Hochul, they are billionaires.
Yeah.
They're handing out
billions
I
of
mean,
dollars.
look, you can go Elon Musk is a billionaire, but if you say this guy's in charge of handing out billions, in a way he's more powerful than the dude who's not going to hand out his own money.
It's easier to give away someone else's money.
Tim Walz is a billionaire. He just hands out our billions.
Yep. So Mamdani's doing the same, but he's saying, alas, that's not enough. He needs another $1.2 billion. And get this, on top of that, he's saying that New York City's property taxes are probably going to have to raise if the state of Hochul there won't tax the millionaires within the state to fund his programs like this.
Do these people understand what year it is and how flexible people are with moving? Because
it's easier now than ever before, I think.
Moving, if you go back 200 years, you get to the Donner Party, and moving was quite difficult and dangerous.
Yep.
But they still did it.
Yep.
But it was hard. And thus, whatever percentage of people, I would argue that 150 years ago in this country, 82% of the populace died in the town they were born in.
Yes.
If you go back 150 years.
Yes.
Those days are gone.
I would even say like 70 years ago. Like you had a lot of people post World War II, post Vietnam, where they go home, they get a job, they build a business.
Right. And if you go around this building and you ask everyone where they're from, it'll all be somewhere else. Even maybe the closest is like a Dawson, but he's a Bay Area up north guys, not here. And people are so mobile now. And it's U-Haul, it's technology, it's the automobile, it's the interstate system, it's work from home, it's Southwest, $89 flights. I mean, people are just mobile as hell. It's like luggage used to be a steamer trunk and you'd have to get porters to carry it onto a boat with you. Now everything's got wheels, baby.
People used to dress fancy when they travel.
People just leave. Getting off the point. People just leave. So what Mondami doesn't understand, that it's the same thing they did here with production in Los Angeles. Like, we're going to just make it the permitting process a little more unionized. And it's like someone should have said to these guys 20 years ago, people are just going to leave. The productions are going to leave. No, they live here. They like shooting in LA. They love LA. They have their homes in Beverly Hills. They're going to fucking leave. They're going to Canada. They're going to Prague. They're going to New Mexico. They will leave.
Yep.
Once you get the most progressive people in the world who are constantly talking about taxing the rich to leave to save a couple of dollars on taxes for production, now everyone can leave.
What's kind of funny, too, is they did it to themselves, not just in all the ways that you said, but also in the work from home thing is a huge thing.
Right.
When so many jobs can be done remote, or you only have to go, and they created the pandemic.
Yeah,
and the pressure of the pandemic of nope, can't open schools, can't work in an office, must continue working from home. And now that's so seeped into the culture.
Yes.
That makes it even easier for people to leave horrible progressive policies.
The other thing that the politicians don't get is the millionaires and the billionaires are smarter than they are because they work in the private sector and they had to do something. You fucking dumb shits never did anything. So that's number one. They're smarter than you are. They count on this thing. And they count on this thing where it's like, hey, man, if you have billions of dollars, you can afford to pay another couple of percentage points on it. Yes, you can afford. They act like you're going out to a steakhouse and the billionaire's going, well, I'll get the strip steak, but I don't know if I can afford the prime. And it's like, yeah, no, he'll buy the prime. He'll buy a Rolls Royce. He'll do that. What he's not going to do is waste money. He's not going to give it to you so you can squander it on a bunch of illegals or homeless bullshit. That's the thing. You don't get it. They do a thing where they go, you're already a billionaire. What is a couple little extra dollars or it's like, that's not the point.
Yep.
They're not in the business of wasting money on your shitty
They want to invest
protocols.
in something.
Yeah. They're going to leave.
Yep.
And then you sit around and go, I don't get it. Why are you leaving? You could just stay here and pay a little bit more.
They're like,
it's a bad investment.
Yep.
Giving you more money to fucking waste is not a good investment for guys who make good investments, and that's why they're billionaires because they make good investments. You are a shit investment. Gavin Newsom, you spent $24 billion on homeless people. You've not put anyone inside a home or built a home. You then spent $20 billion on a bullet train, and it's going nowhere, and it's 19 years in, and it's not going to be. So you are a shit investment. So I'm not going to invest in you because I'm a smart and savvy investor, and that's why I'm a billionaire.
And for some of the people, too, the employees will follow.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So Hochul, I think, is totally running for president. You think she's going to run for president? Part of the reason.
She is such a fucking dope. Look, maybe I sound like an asshole or a broken record, but I've said it a million times. You can go Jim Jordan or Tom Cotton or any of these people, any Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance. Okay. You disagree with everything they say. They're not fucking dopes.
Yeah.
She's a dope. She talks, you go, I don't know what the fuck she's talking about.
I think she's slightly better than Whitmer.
Whitmer's a dope, too.
Whitmer is so bad. Did you see her performance in, at that European Summit?
I don't know anything about stuff. These guys
literally
know
asked about
more.
Ukraine and was like, I don't have an answer.
I don't know. We're going fishing. You guys stay home.
But I think that Hochul is planning on running because she's kind of moderating in certain ways.
She's gonna get that. If you find that clip of black people don't know what a computer is from 3 years ago or whatever.
She said that?
Oh, there's a great clip. It's not even
gosh.
old. It's not even old. That is going to be drudged up and thrown in her face over and over again, the Hochul.
Well, I mean, also
computer.
her support of Mamdani is going to be thrown in her face. So I think she's trying to moderate. Because she's seeking re-election, and she says that one of the things that she's done, so she has Mamdani saying, hey, I need more money from you. We need to increase the property tax, income tax in New York City. And Hochul is saying, no, I'm not going to do that. She's completely ruled out income tax raises and said that the state would contribute $1.5 billion to help reduce New York City's budget deficit. Is that common? I should know this. But is that common for a state? Does Texas say, hey, Austin, to reduce your budget deficit, here's some money from our state budget?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I makes sense, but I'm not sure.
Right.
What year is this from? It's recent.
Was this the same global conference? This was only 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
A year and a half?
Oh, 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word a computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them because when you have their...
One more time, just for fun. 2 years ago.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word a computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things.
By the way, that is so
in 2024?
insulting. That is so insulting.
It's racist.
First off, the number one group who steals computers are black kids from the Bronx. I mean, you see the smash and grab at the Best Buy?
Somehow that
about
was
the
less
computer.
insulting than was she. Somehow that was less insulting.
Well, mine's accurate. Mine at least is accurate. Hers bullshit. Nobody steals more laptops than black kids. Okay, so this is so racist and so insulting to this podcaster. It makes me want to puke. It really does.
I mean, the iPad came out in 2012. The iPhone has been around since 2008, 2009. Computers have been around for a really long time. There's no
demographic uses other people's computers they've stolen more than the young black man.
Dawson's going to pass out.
He loves a good racist joke. Yes. Okay, so this is super insulting.
Yes.
2 years old.
I wonder if there's ever going to reach a point, because she did support him so much, Hochul was supporting Mamdani, if she's going to call him up and be like, bro, hold up.
Right.
Just pause. Could we just figure some stuff out? You're making Democrats look bad, and I really want to run for office in a couple of years.
It'd be nice.
It'd be nice.
Hey, look something up that just popped in my head, Dawson. Sam Harris, I think he was from KTLA.
Oh, he has a podcast. He's had a podcast for a while, right?
Wait a minute. Who's Sam Harris from KTLA entertainment reporter? Or is that Sam Smith?
Sam Smith is a gay singer.
That's
likes
the
to
gay
dress
singer.
in
Then
drag.
Sam Harris was the KTLA guy, right?
Oh,
Sam Rubin. God damn it.
Wait, didn't he die?
He did. It's coming up. I just did KTLA. That's why I just saw his picture up there. Coming up on 2 years. Anyway, good dude. I don't know, part of the landscape out here. I went and did KTLA this morning, and I walked into the lounge, and it was like the Sam Rubin lounge. And that's what
That's nice that they did that for him.
Yeah, he was a good dude. He was there for a million years. All right.
It's also too young. Way too young.
Way too young. All right, what else?
All right, not talking about a good dude. Stephen Colbert, have you heard about this legal back and forth of he's like, they wouldn't let me. And then the legal department is like, actually, yes, we would let you. And then now he's trying to make it all about him. I think he's actively trying to get fired.
You know what drives me nuts? Anyone who makes themselves a victim. Mm-hmm. It drives me nuts. Mm-hmm. When, like, Gavin Newsom was doing that thing with Ted Cruz, I'm dyslexic. You made fun of it. Oh, shut the fuck up. No, there was a guy who was in Burbank who shut down Tin Horn Flats, one of the Burbank City Council guys. His argument was he was retarded, basically. I mean, he had a disability, even though he slept in his car. And it was funny, me and Mark Garagos were like, hey, retard, don't fucking run the city then. Obviously, you're retarded. You don't know what you're doing. But they do it. The argument with dudes is I have a disability. It's like, okay. But by the way, and Joe Biden had a stutter? Like, what the fuck are we talking? I've never heard... Okay, anyway.
So Colbert wanted to interview a guy named Tallarico who is running against Jasmine Crockett and one other lesser-known Democrat for the U.S. Senate race in Texas, right? Mm-hmm. And the FCC actually has rules that specifically during a primary for a talk show like that, that you have to give equal time.
Right.
Now, as a hardcore conservative, I think the FCC rules on equal time are BS because way back in the day, there used to be like that was really hardcore. And I remember when I worked at Hannity, you can't just like invite the other person to come on. Like you actually had to like give them equal time or the Clinton, the Obama administrations would like screw you. Because
if they declined on the invite, then it's not equal time.
Yes. Okay. And then they were really hammering it down. I don't know what the Trump FCC has decided to do, but they have apparently said they're agreeing with CBS and CBS is refuting Colbert's assertion that he was not allowed to have James Tallarico on. They just said that the CBS legal department said, hold up, if you're going to interview this guy, then you also have to give time to and promote as much these other candidates, specifically because they're within a party primary.
Yes.
But he, I guess, and his producers decided to just blatantly lie about it and get out in front of it.
Well, he's a victim.
This was, from his show.
What's he lying about?
Well, so he's saying that CBS said in no uncertain terms that he could not have the guy on. And CBS Legal has now responded and said, no, actually, we told you could. You just had to because of this regulation.
On. Yes. He's arguing that this regulation doesn't apply to him.
And he's saying that it shouldn't apply to him. And of course, he has to like make Trump and his administration the boogeyman.
Yeah.
And then also like NPR... MS Now, is that what they're called now? I keep wanting to say MSNBC.
I don't.
And liberal activists are all saying, oh my God, it's Bari Weiss and she's changing CBS News.
Oh, it's Bari Weiss.
Yes, that's what they're trying to say.
I like Bari.
It's all her fault. Me too.
Good person.
So he was able to, I guess another way that he circumvented it is he posted it on the YouTube channel. Which, of course, this is like free publicity for that, right? Like everybody's going to go over there and watch it on the YouTube channel. Yeah. Anyway, and he is saying, I don't know. I think he's hankering to get fired and continue to be a victim and just make a shit ton of money on being a victim.
Yeah, I mean, Hollywood is a lot of fantasy, virtue signaling. It's a lot of sort of comic book hero stuff, but everyone's a coward and all the guys are pussies. I've found in Hollywood, but they do a lot of talk stuff, and then they do a kind of talk and a victim. And Hollywood does a thing where it's like, you get up in front of a group of people who think exactly how you think and sound exactly how you sound, and then you tell them something they wholeheartedly agree with and then go, I know they try to shut me up, and I know I'm risking my job, and I know I may be risking my life, but I'm going to say it. Fuck Trump. And then everyone goes nuts, you know, and it's like, that's not what a hero is, because everyone agrees with you. And even though you're calling Trump a dictator and Hitlerian, nothing's ever going to happen to you, and you know it. So you get to...
That's why Mark Ruffalo can talk about it while wearing his Renee Good pin and ice out stuff.
Right.
Fascism
So
on the red carpet.
it's sort of a thing where, so what Hollywood does is, like, Hollywood looks out the window at night and sees a shady character lurking around, and they're pussies, and they would never leave and go confront the shady character. But if the shady character was an avatar made up and invisible and they knew would never do anything to them, then they would proudly announce, I'm going out to investigate. And then their wife would go, should we call the cops? And I'd go, no time for backup. And I'd storm out. And I'd go, because it's my job to protect this family. And then I'd go out there and I'd go, hey, Stu, how you doing? You're not going to do anything. You're armed with a feather duster. Thank you. And he'd give me $20, and I'd go back in the house. They know they're brave acting like they do in the movies. They would never do it in real life.
Of course
they
not.
would never, if they thought Trump was a real dictator and a real tyrannical dictator and Hitlerian or Mussolini-esque, they would shut their cowardly fucking mouth immediately. If they thought...
And flee the country.
Oh, yeah. If they thought this was China, I mean, it's why...
Cuba, Venezuela.
Right. Okay. They got big problems with Israel. They got big problems with Catholics. They got no problem with Islam. Wait a minute. Hold on. You guys love women, and you love freedom, and you love rights, and you hate oppression, right? But you're going to storm into Catholic churches, and you're going to talk tons of shit about the Jews and Israel, but you got nothing to say about the group that actually does all the oppressing and subjugates women and treats women horribly and throws gay... Oh, you love gay rights, right? You love gay rights? Yeah, these guys throw gay guys off top of buildings in a burlap sack. You have anything to say about them? No, I don't. It's a beautiful, peaceful religion. Why? Well, they cut your fucking head off. They go Charlie Hebdo on you. They fucking walk into your fucking shit and they start slaughtering people. And you're pussies and you don't want to deal with that. But you do want to be a hero. So go to the place where they don't do anything and they don't slaughter you, and then go be a hero there. Don Lemon, go there. Don't go to the mosque and start fucking around. Someone's going to get you with a machete, and you fucking know it. But yet, you claim to be a champion of gay rights and women's rights. So that's what you're dealing with,
You also
with
claim
Hollywood.
to be a Christian.
Yes, a lot of, I'm the hero, even though I never did shit.
Yep.
That's what you have to deal with.
I mean, but it pays well. The grift pays.
It says on my screen the equal time was for the Democratic primary. So the person not getting equal time was Tellerico's opponent, Jasmine Crockett, because Colbert probably doesn't think she can win.
Yeah. I mean, he's clearly trying to prop up the guy that is pulling ahead. And then, like I said, there was a lesser known candidate. So there's 3 Democratic candidates. So he'd have to give a segment, a high value segment, right? I mean, even though Colbert's ratings are crap, like, people still want to go on the Colbert Show. Like, celebrities and comedians and politicians and stuff are still probably going to take that call. So he'd have to give 3 segments on 3 different nights to a U.S. Senate candidate from Texas. That's crazy.
Yeah. All right. What else we got?
We have this horrific story. This comes from the New York Post, but it's been everywhere recently, of that trans shooter who people are saying, quote unquote, was an odd bird who wore dresses and heels to work at a shipyard.
Listen, I was hearkening back to something I said to Dr. Drew a million years ago when this stuff started popping up. And it was circa 1996, let's say. And the rule back then was, if you would like to be, there was pre-op and post-op, and we had cross-dressers, and we had transvestites, and we had all kinds of different titles, so we knew
Drag queens.
which group you were in.
Yep.
You know, now we've just, it's like the trans community or something. But I don't even know what the fuck. I don't. I go, it's got his dick. Is it cut off? Like, what? Are they a woman? By the way, I need to know because there's a difference between sharing the locker room pre and post operation for me. I want some details.
Yeah.
I don't want you going into the locker room with your male junk.
Into your daughter's locker room.
Sorry.
Or your girlfriend.
All right,
Yeah.
let's just say yours.
Yeah. Mine.
Any woman.
No. No bueno.
If you had your junk lopped off, I look at it differently. Now it's a different situation. And others don't, and we can debate it. But what I'm saying is I like to know what category you're in to figure out where to let you go and how much locker room access and so on and so forth. But anyway,
but
back when in 1996, the rule, and I don't even know if there's a rule anymore, but before you got surgery to have your genitals removed or altered, you had to meet with a therapist for a year. And they had to, at the end of that year, go, okay, this person this is not a rash decision made. This is not an impulse buy.
even before the hormones, because I think that's a part of like what the lawsuits are now.
That's
is that
a very good question.
They'll start young people on hormones.
That's a very
like
good
after
question.
one 30-minute visit.
People, and maybe the hormone therapy, this is 30 years ago, so
Wasn't as
it
advanced as it is now or common.
I mean, I'm sure in 30 years by the way, this went from almost zero to half the kids my kids went to high school with are fucking around with this stuff. But anyway, but here's the whole point. I said, well, go back. Okay, this says you don't generally need to meet with a therapist for over a year to begin gender. But what was it like literally 30 years ago? But here's the whole point. I said to Dr. Drew in 1996, and you guys can find tape of it, if you are meeting with a therapist and announcing that I'm a man, but there's a woman trapped inside of me, you're by definition nuts. That's the definition of nuts. You thinking you're Napoleon is less nuts than that. So when are you ever going to be declared sane? Because the whole motivation for seeing the therapist is you are nuts. And I'm now starting to believe this. We sold this bullshit to everybody that this is some sort of disease or something. I'm now realizing most of them are just fucking nuts. Yes, during the 1990s, it was standard practice to meet with a therapist for at least a year and often much longer to obtain a sex change, gender reassignment surgery. According to the 1990 Harry Benjamin Standard of Care, which guided most medical gender care at the time, the requirements were strict and included mental health. So the whole point, like how many 14, 15, 16-year-old kids, if you met for one full year with a therapist, would want to go under the knife at the end of that year?
And what's fascinating for leftists that say that,
a lot less.
That if you're gay, you were born this way.
Right.
Statistically, when kids are told to wait and pause, they end up coming out.
Yes.
So why is the radical left and the trans movement trying to keep kids from being gay?
Why
are they saying if you're attracted to a girl and you're a girl, therefore you must be a man? Like it's crazy town.
I think it's all just a general confusion thing. I was listening to Buck Sexton talk, I think on Megyn Kelly's show the other day, and he's just basically, he was saying what I've been saying for years. If you can convince people a woman is a woman and a man is a woman and a woman is a man, everything's on the table. By the way, if you can convince someone a man can be a woman can be a man, and this gender thing is just some arbitrary thing, then how easy a slam dunk is climate change or Black Lives Matter? I mean, that's easy convincing. You can convince people, once you do man is a woman and woman is a man, you convince anyone of anything.
Or abortion isn't murder, or pot is good, or
It's
teachers' unions
all
know best.
a layup compared to this.
Yep.
And that's the plan. And get people in a general state of confusion where they're questioning their reality. And they're also having to shut up. I mean, I don't think most people that went along with it just were scared. They didn't want to get yelled at or fired from their job or whatever that is. But mission accomplished, except for it didn't work because you can't fight Mother Nature, and now we got this. So anyway, this guy
apparently was 56. He was a father of 6. He murdered his wife, his soon-to-be ex-wife Roberta, and his 23-year-old son Aiden in Rhode Island over the weekend at a high school hockey game. It happened on Monday, so it was over the President's Day weekend. Colleagues called him short-tempered and was known as being an odd bird who showed up to work in quote-unquote inappropriate clothing, including short skirts and dresses. They told this to the Providence Journal. How the hell could you wear high heels in a shipyard, said Ryan Fisher, who worked with Dorgan for 7 years. He added that he was an employee as an electric cable puller, and because, quote unquote, they had muscle. And another coworker who didn't want to be named claimed that he had only just shown off photos of his ex-wife and kids at the shipyards just days before the shooting, and that he had previously referred to his ex as his princess and gave zero indication as they were divorced and had gushed about how much he loved his whole family. Apparently, he had stressed about having that reputation and was very vocal about being into guns.
What happened to the 1-year therapy deal that we put into place sensibly for gender reassignment surgery back in the day? What is it, just gone now? Just somebody went, nah, no more of that?
I think that certain states are implementing it again, specifically or banning it when it comes to minors. I mean, this guy underwent gender reassignment surgery in 2020. So think about the hormones that you are fake pumping into your body.
Yes.
It's crazy.
It just be crazy. Yeah.
I just think that.
Look, between all the serotonin reuptake inhibitors we're pumping into the young people and all these fucking trans hormones, yeah, your fucking brain is scrambled.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to do something dumb. I'll let you clear your throat, but something I thought about, maybe Dawson will remember this. Tucker Carlson used to talk about this guy. Remember the Canadian shop teacher that had the triple G tits that were like inflatable? He was just walking around with the giant tits, and he like the school board. I love Canada because they're like, oh, geez, what do we do? What do we do? Tell that crackpot to go home. He can't work in front of kids.
He's you know what I mean?
But they're like, no, but he's got to. I don't. Do you remember this story?
Oh, I do.
I don't know.
It was literally like a shelf.
Right, but whatever happened to that fella who insisted on showing up to school? Like, was he goofing on the system?
No, I think he really wanted to.
And the school board had to defend him and let him teach because they're Canada and you can't judge.
It's just gross. And it's sad.
Wait.
And I would yank my kid out of that school so fast.
Hold on. I'm looking at a screen. Something's on my screen. Now it says he then also shot himself. But you're talking about the school. You're talking about the hockey game, right? Yeah. But it'd be nice if this guy shot himself too, right? I mean, wouldn't that be good? Oh, what? Is this person still teaching shop?
I'm not going to say that they need to kill themselves. I'm going to say that Canada needs to grow a pair and and make this person, quit, fire, resign.
Well, this story's like 7 years old, so I don't know what the hell happened. I'll tell you what. Andrew, circle it because tomorrow we'll follow up on the Canadian with the triple G's.
I'll be here tomorrow to follow up on that.
Please remember. All right. I'm going to be, as I said, in Dallas, Texas at Hyenas, doing club shows, a couple shows February 27th, 28th, Friday, Saturday. adamcarolla.com is where you go. Jackie Fabulous, her Hulu special, You Can Leave, is available as we speak. Alicia Krause, op-ed for the Washington Examiner, always bringing the verbiage. And until next time, this is Adam for Alicia and Jackie saying mahalo.
The Adam and Dr. Drew Show.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get on the jet, but I'm going to get it on. That Drew 457. Dig Specialist. What's going on, man?
Oh, man, so much. Nice mention by Rogan about your construction background.
Yeah.
Which I thought was it was the first time I'd heard that sort of acknowledged that way. You know what I mean? In the sense that people send around your videos about the pathetic response to the fire site and, the lack of ability to get permits for construction and the Palisades. But he just said it very succinctly, like he knows what he's talking about. He's dealt with this he comes from construction. He predicted it on day one. And that was that.
Yeah, people. Let's break this down. I'm having a seizure. Oh, I have thoughts because I brought that male-female article in that I sent you I was reading again and sort of underlining things. And here's what I've kind of
read an article.
9 pages printed out, bro. It's a lot of reading for this,
and with intention.
With intention. What I've sort of figured out is with me and a field of expertise, and I've been drilling down on this for quite some time because I think it's important, even though I'm not sure at the time why it's important. But I notice women and dumb dudes are real dismissive of expertise, and it's a lot of like, I'll go sort of extreme examples, but like Maria Alonso Conchita Sanchez, who's a district select woman of San Diego, tells Elon Musk to get the fuck out. Yeah. That dope doesn't know what he's doing.
Right.
We don't need him.
Right.
What's he ever done? Okay, Dumbo. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's how they talk.
Yes.
All the time, and I've noticed dumb people do that. Women do it a lot, and dumb people do it. They go, they don't really recognize expertise.
Listen.
And by the way, it's intentional because they don't have to then listen to you.
Well, it's also narcissistic, right?
Yes.
Because I remember that a lot when I was in medical school and residency. I did a lot of hanging out in gyms and working out when I could. Mm-hmm. And guys would always come up to me and go, Dumbos. And come up and go, yeah, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be an orthopedic surgeon.
Right.
And I'm like, do you understand how hard it was for me to get here?
Right.
And they would say it with complete like, yeah, I'll turn my attention that way one of these days, and I'm going to do that. So part of the lack of understanding of expertise is an abject, what's Dunning-Kruger, an abject lack of understanding of what goes into expertise.
Right. Yeah, but it's also the groundwork for not listening to the person. There's an agenda that is attached to it that is there to sort of set the table of, Elon Musk, what's that guy know? They do a lot of like when I'll tell you the people that do it a lot. The people who answer their own questions, they go, Elon Musk, what's that guy know?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yes.
It's like, okay, he doesn't know anything.
Yes.
You're right.
Right.
You're so right.
Yeah.
You're so right. You fucking chick with 9 Latin surnames who's running San Diego into the ground. You have a much greater understanding of how to run companies or cities or build whatever. There are all these people. And so they're constantly trying to, there's sort of an extreme version of it, when they go, what's Donald Trump want? He wants cruelty.
Oh, yeah.
Cruelty to kids. Cruelty to those who look different than him. No, he's a builder who wants to fix shit. And he's in a hurry.
Yeah.
That's what he wants.
Yeah.
And then
they want you to acknowledge me and talk.
Right.
Talk to me.
Well, I'm reading this article, which I suggest you guys all read. It's by Helen Andrews. And it's in Compact Magazine.
Entitled?
The Great Feminization.
Yeah.
Now, actually, I was thinking about it, and Andrew, if you can find the beginning of the pilot of The Man Show, which I think we must have written in like 98. Because it was a pilot on ABC before it was a Comedy Central show.
And we'd been on Loveline a couple of years at that point when you went to air.
That is correct.
And we went to Loveline was...
But we didn't go to air.
No, but Loveline was like 97 really when we were in full swing. right?
No, you just said when you went to air, but Man Show sat for a year before it went to air.
Yeah.
But we had to do the pilot, which we must have written in 97 or 98.
Yeah.
So now we're 25 plus. We're coming on to 30 years old. And in the opening scene on the Hoover Dam, we were talking about the great feminization wave that was coming over the city.
Little did you know that one of you would be completely subsumed by it.
Dragged out to sea, clinging to a tampon for life. To stay afloat. The Great Feminization is the name of this article from, 10 minutes ago.
Written by a woman.
Yeah. And the reason I try not to make a deal of that, because part of the problem we've gotten into in this society is, well, you're not black. I have black friends.
Yeah.
This guy, this guy's a black guy.
Yeah.
He likes Trump. It's like, fuck off. I can have opinions.
Yeah.
These people all the time, it's like, how can you talk about the black community? How the fuck can I talk about any community?
Right.
I have opinions, you fucking idiots.
Yeah.
What do you know about what do I know about women? What do I know about dogs?
Right.
You're not a black lab. Yeah, but I have thoughts. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I have thoughts about UPS drivers. I don't drive for UPS.
Yeah.
Do you understand how thoughts work?
Yes.
It's like, fuck off.
I've always hated
I have to be like a black woman to,
Listen,
fuck off.
It started in medicine where people were like, if you're not a recovering person, how can you do addiction medicine? It's like, would you have to have cancer and each kind of cancer to be an oncologist? What are we talking about here?
I built people super expensive custom homes and lived in an apartment.
Right.
How are you able to build
Right.
Because I know how to build a custom home, and then I go home to my shitty apartment.
Right.
That's how I do it.
Right.
I don't live in the custom home. Right. Okay. We have the beginning, and I haven't seen this in a million years, but it struck me as we were talking about it, as I was reading the feminization, that this is, 20, almost 30 years old in its inception.
But hang on a second. Don't air it yet. Because for some weird reason, this opening stayed with me like some sort of
Monkeys farting?
Well, that stayed with me too.
I know. That's Drew's favorite bit.
No, but this thing of you guys, I remember you guys putting your hands, I haven't seen it in 20 years. You guys put your hand on the wall and lean into the thing. And it stayed with me some sort of like moment. Like I didn't fully get it. Obviously, I was a acolyte of the other side in this, and I'm part of the problem, of course.
Yes, you are.
Apologies.
Yes, you were.
Wherever I can apologize, I will. But it's weird that it stayed with me so vividly because I knew it meant something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just didn't fully understand it.
All right, sorry.
Okay, here we go.
6.6 million tons of concrete, harnessing nearly 1 trillion gallons of water. 16,000 men spent half a decade building it. They lived in shacks and tents along its base without drinking water, toilets, or shelter from the desert heat. More than 100 of these men gave their lives to this dam. Their bodies are paved over in its walls. Its 2 million kilowatt capacity powers the greatest city in the world, Las Vegas. And just as these heroic men did more than 60 years ago, we are building a dam. A dam to hold back the tidal wave of feminization that is flooding this country. A dam to stop the river of estrogen that is drowning us in political correctness. A dam to urinate off of when we're really drunk. We call this dam the Man Show.
Now, when did the Man Show first air? That's the question. Because that is from the pilot.
Yeah.
And the pilot was shot for ABC.
Yes.
So it was June 1999. So
Yeah.
this would have been a year earlier,
Yes.
which would have been 98.
Yeah.
And then we would have conceived and written this before that.
Oh, you were talking
obviously.
about this shit when we were doing a Love Line for sure before that.
Yeah. So now we're there.
Yeah.
Okay. But somebody saw it coming.
But who?
The guy who everyone says, shut up, don't listen to him, or you're wrong.
Right. Without being critical of Jimmy, how would he look at this now? Would he feel I was wrong to have said that? Would he say things have changed? I've changed I'm sweat. How would he look at his position now versus then? I've matured. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he would say he's evolved or something.
Yeah.
I guess.
Would he say that was a false premise? It just didn't exist, and it no longer, because that's what a lot of the pushback is now. It's just a talking point. Far right. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
Well,
you were far right then, right? 25 years ago.
I highlighted
almost 30 years ago.
That's what I said
Jesus
5 minutes
Christ.
ago. Female, this is according to this article, but this is kind of what we're dealing with. Female group dynamics favor consensus and cooperation.
Yeah.
Men order each other around, but women can only suggest and persuade.
Yes.
Any criticism or negative sentiment, if it absolutely must be expressed, needs to be buried in layers of compliments. That's what women do. The outcome of a discussion is less important than the fact that the discussion was held and everyone participated in it. The outcome of the discussion
doesn't matter.
Is less important than the fact that we had it. Remember, I told you all those times when I talked to my ex-wife, she'd be satiated. She'd go, I called the cable company.
Yeah.
And what happened? Nothing happened.
Yeah.
But we had the conversation.
Yeah.
And then I would tell you all the dumbos on the city council, all the Yenta cows would all get together and argue about homelessness and then go to lunch, and then that would be that.
Yeah.
And nothing would come out the other end. And then I showed you when Karen Bass was sitting there with Trump, and Trump was like, hurry, build, hurry, clean these lots and start building. She's like, whoa, slow down. And then I started calling it process.
Yes,
Process,
that's what
people.
It is
it's process. We have a majority feminine mindset in Los Angeles, and we sit and we talk.
You know, it's interesting.
And nothing ever happens because it's a feminine thing.
Yeah. And female process addiction is about talking. Male process addiction, porn.
Right.
Isn't that weird?
Yes. So the article goes on. The most important sex difference in group dynamics is attitude to conflict. In short, men wage conflict openly while women covertly undermine and ostracize their enemies. Of
course.
Right. Okay. And get nothing done. And get nothing done.
And build coalitions done.
Right. And get nothing done.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're going to live...
And by the way, that first sentence, if you'd read that to me in 1999, I would have said immediately, yeah, that's right. They're better. You see,
female group dynamics favor consensus and cooperation. Men order each other around.
I would have gone, okay, see, Adam, I told you.
Right.
That's what I got wrong.
It sounds good.
Apologies.
Right. But if you live in a city that has a feminine dynamic, then you shall get nothing done.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah. And by the way, you're not saying all women are feminized.
No.
Marine Le Pen,
whoever wrote
Maloney,
this art, Helen Andrews is not feminized.
Maloney, Le Pen.
Oh no, there's plenty of them. And then there's Gavin Newsom, who wears a cadre of bracelets and crosses his legs deeper. With a deeper cross than Obama.
Somebody needs to do a study of feminization and leg crossing.
He's full chick. Well, but I mean, you have to. Justin Trudeau's a fucking bitch. I mean, he's just a chick. 100%. Now, that's how Obama's that way. That's how they present. Now, I'm sure Obama's a douche off whatever, I'm sure he's horrible, but he presents.
Yeah.
That's why he does the super steep leg cross and the sort of sits in a sort of posture and chooses his words. He's very feminine, but I'm sure processy. It's all process. Yeah. And I told Andrew to pull a short audio clip of Trump talking about building noises, by the way, which is it makes me laugh because I've told everyone Trump's a builder.
Yeah.
And builders are in a hurry.
They're in a hurry, and they got to get the right subs. You've taught me.
You got to get
which is an interesting new thing that I had not thought about.
You have to have all the right subs.
And
otherwise,
you got to fire them. Otherwise, just gone. Next.
You can't work fast if you don't have the right subs.
Yeah.
But this is him. It's funny.
This again, I'm going to get a ballroom built, and we're putting up our own money. With the government is paying for nothing. You probably hear the beautiful sound of construction to the back. You hear that sound? Oh. That's music to my ears. I love that sound. Other people don't like it. I love it, Josh. I think when I hear that sound, it reminds me of money. In this case, it reminds me of lack of money because I'm paying for it. So it's the opposite.
All right, here's the point.
But it's
My mom would be annoyed by the sound of building.
And she'd be outraged by that whole.
She didn't like that. He said money. He said building.
Yeah.
We don't like it.
Yeah.
Now let's get him off the. Yeah, he couldn't hang with the LA City Council.
Hang on now. I'm just thinking. What was the? I'm not going to even ask you this question. I'm going to state it. Their ultimate complaint, ultimately, that what would be superior to the money and construction is too many people, right? That's always what they complained about. Your mom and her type. Overpopulation. Overpopulation.
You got to say overpopulation. Too many people. Could mean
sorry.
The room
Too
was
many people in
crowded.
the world. So
Too many people.
So your mom would literally be relieved and supportive of the drop in the birth rate now that's going on.
They didn't like anything that involved progress. They liked everything was
For sure,
regressive.
but they also did not like people. Really get right down to it. They didn't like people. Too many people.
They felt that people hurt the planet.
Yeah.
And so if if people weren't people, they were just aphids and we lived in a garden, then they'd want less aphids because they love the garden.
Right.
And that's the way they looked at people.
That's right. Which is not a deep appreciation of the human experience.
I don't know that she had that for the human experience. All right, we'll take a quick break. Be right back after this. On the theme of me being right about everything all the time and forever, somebody...
Took a while, but
listen. Here's how... You want to know how long it takes for me to be right?
30 years.
No, there's no time. There's no actual calendar set to it.
What are you asking exactly?
How long it takes for people... for me to be right.
So I'm going to struggle with it. It's like for consensus to be built.
I'm setting up a joke. Just shut up.
Okay, go ahead.
See,
I don't know when you're being serious. When
I
you're setting
know
up a joke.
it's not 30 years, and it's not 10 years. It's the amount of time it takes for people to forget what I said initially.
Oh yeah.
And then we can go to it.
Yes.
Right. That's how it works. They have to initially forget what I was talking about the whole fucking time, and then we can embrace some new thing, which is new to them, but it's old to me because that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
The peanuts. We tweeted it out, Andrew, which is it turns out you got to expose very young infants to peanuts. Yeah. So they won't be allergic.
That's right.
Because everyone is allergic to peanuts, and then we took all the peanuts out of the house.
Think about this. Why very young? Why infant? Why? Right. Because the immune system is different in that age group.
Yes.
Therefore, unlimited vaccines is a good thing to an evolving immune system. Is that good? Bad? I don't know.
Look, these fucking safety, by the way, it's another feminine thing. This safety uber Alice bullshit is getting people killed.
Yes.
In 15 years we'll all be chicks. I wrote about this in my book. And now it turns out research, Drew. Turns out the research.
Could have just asked Adam.
Turns out that the peanuts are important. Exposure, as Drew talks about. I remember going into a friend's house about 18 years ago. And I was just sitting in his kitchen. It was kind of a modest thing, and I knew he didn't have a bunch of good food for me to eat like at Drew's house. But I said, "Man, I'm hungry. I just want to get a scoop of peanut butter." And he said, no peanut butter." And I said, "Oh man, you always keep some peanut butter. Get a nice scoop of peanut butter." And he goes, "Yeah, oh no, we got it out of the house." I go, "What was it out of the house?" "Oh, my daughter's allergic." I go, "Your daughter's 6 months old."
Oh, Jesus.
"Yeah, but..." I go, "Well, she's in a crib in the other room." "Yeah, but the wife said, let's get out of the house."
Oh, my God.
I said, "Well, just put it up on I don't fucking word.
Yeah.
Put it up on the shelf. Just put it up in the cabinet up top where the glasses are." "Yeah, I know, but she wanted it out." By the way, this is a problem because if that bitch is coming at me, I go, fuck off. I want my peanut butter. I'm not going to put it in their crib, but I think I'm responsible enough to own peanut butter. And by the way, they're allergic to peanut butter? Really? Is everyone allergic to peanut butter? But also, the peanut butter that's in the kitchen up on the upper shelf is not going to find its way into the infant's hands. So, no, I'm not going to go put the peanut butter in the garage, you crazy cow. But he just went and removed it from the house, which is the problem. That's the problem. Guys should have went fuck off. If you want to, listen, bitch, if you want to be nuts, do it on your dime. I'm not crazy. I can live in a house with peanut butter.
My appreciation for my father-in-law is going up so much these days. He spent 2 years in the hull of a ship in the Pacific during World War II, came out, became an engineer after the GI Bill, worked for Ford Aviation for a while, then got fired in the giant layoffs of the 70s, ended up buying hardware stores. And he took my wife at a very young age, like 4, and brought her into the garage all the time, taught her to fix things. Toilets, plumbing, carpentry, everything. Way better than I am.
Oh, yeah.
And, I cross my legs, man.
Yeah,
So-
deep cross. Pioneer.
And the point is, I can't remember exactly what happened, but the other day we had something go wrong. I think it was a plumbing thing, and she just got on it, just like fixed it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's good.
You got to, I mean, you don't got to, but when you own a home with multiple bathrooms and things like that, it's nice to have somebody who knows their way around under that roof.
Yeah.
Agreed. Andrew, the article, by the way, which you took down, which is fine, but I did kind of want to see what the peanut article is, but I'll paraphrase. You got to expose kids. And when I say kids, I mean infants.
The CNN article.
Yeah.
Advice to feed babies peanuts early and often helps 60,000 kids avoid allergy, study finds. Okay. So how long did it take that one to come for us to forget about what you said?
We just had to wait till we forgot about what I was saying.
I'm saying, how long did that take this time?
I don't know, Andrew. Maybe not for this show.
Well, you know what's weird? I'm just thinking, all this stuff is very familiar to me, that you've been saying it since the 90s. My question is, how long before that were you saying it?
I'm sure I always thought about it, and I was talking to guys on a construction site, so it didn't really, it wasn't chronicled.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't into a microphone.
I can bear witness.
And now it was chronicled. Peanut
so it
allergy.
40 years, right? That you were.
I've always listen. Here's what I've always done, and Andrew, you can see if in 50 years we'll all be chicks. My first book, and I don't know if it's on the computer, and you can just write peanut or allergies or something like that. I think, but I must have written about it. I would sit around and hear stories. Now, the one you like the best. Actually, you don't like it the best, but I cite it the most, which is the high schoolers from the Catholic school went to Maui and annoyed dolphins.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, man can't swim faster than 3 miles an hour, and the dolphins swim at 30 miles an hour. So I don't know how much annoying was going on.
Right.
Be like guy in wheelchair annoys Usain Bolt, I don't think so. I think he could just get away from him if he wanted to. So I hear stories like, I would sit around on a construction site going, how's everyone allergic to peanuts, when I've never met anyone who was allergic to peanuts? And how come when I was in school, not that long ago, 15 years ago, nobody was allergic to peanuts, and now everyone's allergic to peanuts, and they have to have a peanut-free zone and a special bench for people who want to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and Southwest is going to, and I go, no, something's wrong. I don't buy it.
Same with autism, right?
Yeah, same with everything. I don't. None of the shit started. Human biology does not evolve or devolve everything. Yeah, you got to drink. Okay, you take your weight. Then you translate that then into ounces, and then every hour you drink 200 ounces of water. No. How come everyone was skinny when they didn't drink water? No one carried water. Everyone was skinny. How do you explain nobody carrying water and everyone being skinny, and now you must drink water in order to maintain your weight and lose weight, but everyone is fat, so I don't buy it.
And then football. Just like our experience with football in the 70s.
No water. So I would sit around and know what was happening all the time. And then stuff like COVID comes in and blah, 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 blah. And that's like, all right, I don't, we're going to mask up in between bites, stuff like that. Now, mask up in between bites is like an absurd extreme of what not to listen to.
Yes.
But the peanut thing and the autism thing and the transgender thing and the hydrate thing, that's pretty discernible too. It's not as patently insane as masking up in between bites, but it's one strata below in the what the fuck are these people talking about? I'm no longer listening.
Well, the safety uber alles thing is the sort of
big problem.
Yeah, that
people don't think is a big problem.
Well, you said it, so they have to catch up with you.
Drew.
Yeah.
In the safety uber alles thing. Yeah. Now, because you think safety uber alles is about removing the peanuts from the Southwest flight on the off chance that somebody's going to have an allergic reaction.
No, I think
go ahead.
I just think about many, many, many other things, including a total denial of death.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're just...
there's a lot of put the helmet on, when most people think about safety, they think about airbags and crumple zones and stuff like that.
It's the opposite of, hey, let's go forth, let's explore.
Right. But there's an even deeper, broader safety uber alles thing that's not just about elbow pads and helmets when you're skateboarding and that, like a very focused kind of thing. When I've yelled at you about building and permitting and red tape and codes right? And I'm looking at this place that they're starting to get to work on PCH, and I'm looking at what they're doing, and they're drilling these caissons into the ground that are 6 stories deep, and they're doing them all over the place. And I said to the guy, the foreman over there, I go, what do you got into the foundation? By the way, not before you can see any. There's nothing above the soil.
Right.
It's just a soil line. He goes, $2 million plus. Okay, so
for one house,
a small house, 2,000 square foot.
Yeah.
I said. So what I'm saying is it's safety. It's safety. It's safety. Okay, but it doesn't need to be this safe. You do not need caissons going 6 stories into the ground. It's crazy visually to see the cages that get lowered in and go on forever. But you are now building something in the name of, we're an earthquake country, in the name of safety, you're building something that's 10,000 times as strong as it needed to be. And by the way, the former structure just had piles, telephone poles going into the ground, like the pier does.
Yeah.
There's a quarter mile away. There's a pier that was built in 1905.
Yeah.
It's still there.
Yeah.
There's no caissons.
No.
There's no cement. It's just piles.
And I thought the Coastal Commission wanted reclamation. I thought they wanted us to build stuff that the ocean could take back when it wants to.
So in the name of safety, uber alles, this homeowner's going to put $2.5 million into the ground before they can start building.
Yeah.
And it is the structure of this is mind-numbing. And I don't know, you have to picture 6-story buildings in the ground, 30 of them.
Oh.
30 of these holes, 30 inches wide, cages. I took a couple of pictures. Andrew will pull a cage up for you whenever he returns.
These are like rebar cages kind of thing?
Yeah, sorry. We won't, we'll find the peanut in the book, Andrew, who may have left. I don't know. I don't feel like leaving is a good thing. Dawson does
you don't
it sometimes.
know. It could be an emergency.
It could be an emergency, but...
no, I'm just trying to find the book.
I know, but if you check the clock, that's not going to happen right now. But it'll happen maybe next show. The book, I don't know. They used to be on
That was a compliment, Andrew, just so you know.
Yeah, they used to be on the computer, but I guess they're not on the computer. Someone has to, physically get the book? I don't know. Anyway, Andrew, show Drew the picture of the rebar cage. That's what I'm saying, because it's mind-numbing when you realize what we're doing in the name of safety. And then
Cleopatra's obelisk.
Cleopatra's obelisk?
Like 6 stories high, and they couldn't get it to stand up.
What I'm saying to everyone is they go, You know what my mom? Oh no, forget about my mom. You know what Jane Fonda would say? What's wrong? So what?
More. Need more.
We need more.
More.
Why not? What's wrong with being safe? And the answer is, I'll tell you what's wrong with it.
Oh my God! Look at that.
What are you looking at, Drew?
I'm looking at a mile of rebar. It looks like it's just these tubes of they're rebar. You know, the metal where the concrete's going to be poured into it. But it looks like a quarter mile. It's crazy.
It is going off into there. That's 6 stories. It's getting lowered into every hole.
Crazy.
And then nothing will protrude past the ground. That crazy? Now, Jane Fonda would go, why not do 7 stories?
Yeah, she who has Ted Turner's money. She doesn't give a shit about...
Right, but so what I'm saying to her is, you could go 8 or 10 stories into the ground, but someone has to pay for that. Yeah. Why should the homeowner have to pay for this? I mean, a commercial airliner could hit it. It would withstand the force. You know, it's just a house. The house was built in the 50s, and it had telephone poles going in the ground.
Made it nearly 100 years.
Right. Number one. Well, it would still be there except for the fire that you guys didn't manage took it out.
Exactly.
Right.
It wasn't the ocean. It wasn't the water.
Right. And, you know, it's funny. What the city does run is the telephone poles and the electric wires, which are on telephone poles, which are 4 feet away.
Right.
That now that's good enough. Good enough to use the pole for them.
Yeah.
They don't have the money to sink piles, a pilasters.
Well, that's the general note. The general note is unlimited capacity to ask citizens for money. Or to demand the money, whether it's in the name of safety and their own investment or to the government.
Right.
And the worst at managing, let's face it, anything. Certainly capital. The worst at managing capital. I heard somebody talking today about complaining that Amazon wasn't paying taxes. Like, because they reinvest in the business. Would you rather that money go to the sinkhole that is government? And by the way, in the meantime, because they're growing so fast, they create $9 billion of taxes for the properties and the employees and they create billions of dollars.
I know. These are just simpleton dumbos. All right, Flappers, October 29th, everyone. Coming right up, everyone. And then Boston, that'll be the 6th of November at the Wilbur Theater, which is a great old theater over there. And then Buffalo, New York, Electric City, that'll be the 7th. Go to adamcarolla.com for all the live dates. What do you got, Drew?
Dr.com, and look for on X at Dr. Drew. Look for the streaming show Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday, Thursday at 2, Wednesday at 4.
So until next time, Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying mahalo. All right, Dawson, what do you got in the news department?
Kamala Harris, not done yet.
Hold on. I made a note on my hand when I was driving.
Okay, it looks like an M or a W or a 3.
It's an M and a W, depending on what side of it you're on. I was just driving, and Macy Gray came on the radio. Mm-hmm. And I like Macy Gray, but I realized she's like really strange, you know? Mm-hmm. And then I realized I think Macy Gray is the Black Bjork.
Black Bjork.
Likeable.
Yeah.
Writes a catchy tune. No one exactly knows who they are. Or like, are they married? Are they heterosexual? Are they gay? Are they straight? Where do they live? They don't really pop up. They don't make the rounds. Like you never drive into Palm Springs and say, you know, coming up the Yamaha Theater, Bjork.
Yeah.
You know, Jonas Brothers, and then Bjork. You know what I mean? Or Macy Gray. Like they're both sort of equally as recognizable, but people don't really know their canon or their catalog. Like people will go, oh, let me name my top 10 Bjork songs. They just like her.
Yeah.
They respect her. She's weird.
And there's enough about her that she's in our minds. Everyone knows who she is, but no one knows what she's
and I
doing.
feel the same about Macy Gray.
Yeah.
And by the way, neither one of them presents danger. Like they're like, these are good folk, although I don't know who they are. And I kind of like to date them, but not really. And I'm just not sure. But I just realized, much like Steve Harvey is the Black Dr. Phil, Macy Gray's the Black Bjork.
Okay.
All right. I just wanted to put that out there. Now we can move on.
And that this was your thought coming in this morning.
That's why I drew an M on my hand, because I started to write M. I wrote M for Macy Gray, and then I started to write a B. And then I thought to myself, how much prompting
Good
do
luck,
I
yeah.
need?
Good
Like, you
luck
think
with
I'm just
Bjork.
going to have the M and space
Right.
out on the Bjork?
Right. You would have been in an accident.
I was 12 minutes away. I was like, even with my senior moments, I think I can retain
You can't forget
my M.
Bjork.
Yeah, I'm not going to be confused as to M.
Right.
All right, so I got that. Anyway, Kamala.
Kamala says she's not done. Let's hear her interview here.
Not done with what?
Not done. She's not done. It's unclear, but she's not done.
Okay. All right.
In
Let's
terms
figure.
then of what is next for you, you write very powerfully about the differences that many women have made to your life, whether that was your meeting with Angela Merkel or the experience of growing up with your extraordinary mother or the stories of your...
Wait, pause it for a second. Your extraordinary Indian mom who you never talk about because you're black? Mm-hmm. That mom? The mom you ignore? That mom. My powerful.
See, they care in the BBC because they eat a lot of Indian food out there, so that's what they're going to.
Yeah, but she never says Indian or half Indian or anything.
If
she's just black.
I bet if she's in London or in the UK, she probably speaks about her Indian mother over there.
Oh, yeah. All right, sorry, continue.
Nieces, Amara and Leela. When are they going to see a woman in charge in the White House?
In their lifetime, for sure.
Could it be you? Possibly.
Yeah, could be.
Have you made a decision yet?
No, I have not.
Oh.
But you say in your book, I'm not done.
That is correct. I am not done.
Yeah.
I have lived my entire career a life of service.
Oh, yeah.
I do love it.
It's in my bones.
Talking about servicing
And-
Willie Brown?
Right. That's the kind of service. And
Is that
Montel, right?
Montel and Willie Brown.
Right.
But Willie Brown was the service so you could get the gig.
Right.
So I get that part. I wish I could. You know what? I wish there was some sort of reciprocity, like Carolla. How'd that guy make all that money? Oh, he ate the right pussy in the 90s.
None.
And, they just shot him right to the front of the line.
Right.
What Adam did? Well, he ate that district selectman's pussy, and then she just sort of pushed him right to the front there. That's how he got the job for
I heard
DA
you say
in Los
this
Angeles.
before. I heard you draw this connection before we were talking about female groupies and that there's no equivalent on the other side. Nobody's going, hey, I got to go lick Roberta Flack's pussy.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah, I want the big one from Hart. That's how I roll.
Anyway, Kamala's not done. I don't know what the hell she thinks she's going to do.
But I don't know what she started. Like, she was just a horrible vice president who
She failed upwards.
As far as I know, the only thing I'd ever heard her be in charge of was the border, and that was a tremendous failure.
Right.
So I don't know what she's not done doing. Or she did spend like $125 billion. So maybe she's not done spending other people's money. I don't know. And look, can we disavow, or not disavow, but dispel of the notion of we need a woman in charge of X, Y, or Z? We need a competent person, male or female. Los Angeles has women in charge left and right, and they fucking suck, and they don't know how to think clearly, and they're dopes, and they're ruining the city. So this notion of like, we only got a few more vaginas in the room. No. We have a mayor and a predominant female city council, and none of those bitches know how to think, and they're ruining the city. So this notion of like, well, now we need someone. No, we need someone who's bright and has a plan, but that's not this one.
That's not Kamala. It could be Gavin Newsom, though.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh. They're
He's
saying
great.
that he finally is confirming his 2028 presidential ambitions. He finally confirmed it, and he said they said he's still playing coy whether or not he'll actually run. He says, yeah, I'd be lying otherwise. He told CBS News Sunday morning in a pre-taped interview. He said, I'd just be lying, and I'm not. I can't do that. I don't know what that means. In recent months, Newsom has swung through early key states like South Carolina. He's got his great podcast. He turned his social media handles into troll accounts that consistently post bizarre and over-the-top responses to GOP critics.
Yeah, the thing about him that you don't say about everyone is there's something wrong with him.
Big time.
And you can say, I disagree with this guy, I disagree with that guy, but there's not something wrong with them. There's something wrong with Gavin Newsom. There are other folks I just disagree with, but there's not something wrong with that.
Gavin has a need to be loved. He needs to be. He needs people to fondle over him and
fawn over him. Yes.
Yeah, there's something wrong with him.
Yeah, there is. And, it's funny. I was watching this clip from 2018, and he's talking about homeless and schizophrenia and drug and alcohol abuse and mental instability. And that's all he's talking about from 2018. And then I was like, well, you sat where you're sitting 5 years earlier and told me it was nothing to do with drugs and nothing to do with mental. I mean, he said, what about the real picture of homousness? And that was a mom who had a full-time job.
Yeah.
Who was getting minimum wage, who got divorced. Yep. So how did he change? I don't get how he changed so fast. I don't get what he knew when he was sitting with me. He was in his 40s. There's a clip. Oh, Andrew, do you have the clip of him talking about drugs? So he's in his 40s. He's sitting here, and I'm explaining to him, these homeless people are on drugs, and they have schizophrenia, and they need to be taken off the streets, and they need to be put somewhere, and they need tending to. Like, these are crazy drug addicts who are expiring in the street, sleeping on the sidewalk. Yeah. We need to gather them up and put them in some sort of facility. They need taken care of. They're human beings. You would do that for a dog who was in the street. The dog wouldn't be on drugs. The dog would just be in the street walking in circles with his fur falling out. And then you'd go pick it up and you'd go, for Christ's sake, where's your humanity, man? Pick the dog up. Take him somewhere. And you take him to a shelter. All right, this is him, I guess 2018. Let's see.
If we don't address the homeless issue in a meaningful way, we'll fail also on a moral framework because it's a tragedy to see so many people self-medicating in drug or alcohol addictions, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, paranoia out on the streets and sidewalks. Clean and sober is one of the biggest.
All right, pause it. He was sat here and told me I was wrong when I told him. I just said all of the stuff he just said. I just said it a few years earlier, and he shot it all down. So something is wrong with him. Now, I know he didn't want to agree with me, but I don't know why. If an airplane crashes and you go, well, metallurgy was bad on the impeller and engine number 2, if that was the case, why not just agree? I mean, you don't have to politicize it. I said it's crazy people and drug addicts.
Yeah.
And he said no.
And then he said, you're not in traffic, you are traffic.
The thing that scares me about...
and everyone...
The thing that scares me about Newsom is the same thing that scares me about the ladies on The View. We are so fucking stupid now, we can't recognize stupid. We don't see stupid. Like, you guys... listen to what Whoopi Goldberg says. It's patently insane, and she's fucking nuts, and she's a dope. And then you listen to Karen Bass, and she's a dope. And then you listen to Gavin Newsom, and he's a dope. He doesn't track. He doesn't make sense. I am in the process, Dawson, you would like this, I decided the other day I need to just transcribe my conversation with him and have it played out by actors. It wouldn't be my voice. It wouldn't be his voice. Just be actors playing it out. And that's when you realize how insane he sounds.
Yeah.
But we are so fucking dumb that we don't recognize dumb. That's the scary part.
Well, there's a prime example of this I want to show you. I got this video of Newsom appearing on a podcast recently where he tries to claim that he grew up with major hardship.
He tried to sell that shit here too. Single mom and mean streets, tough upbringing.
The thing is nobody ever pushes back, and that's why he thinks he can just keep changing his mind over and over again. But let's watch this. This is
well. Before we do it, you should know his dad was lead counsel for Getty Oil. Getty's like the richest family in the country, maybe in the world, and that's where his dad was. His dad was a judge and a lawyer,
right?
Too, and then the Gettys,
bunch of ladies pregnant, a bunch of hot ladies.
The Gettys were close family friends, and when he started his winery at 25, he got the money from the Getty family, just like you and I did when we were 25. All right, here we go. Tough.
But also, it was also about paying the bills, man.
Yeah, man.
And it was just like hustling. And,
yeah, you're
and
a
so
hustler.
I was out there
Wrong
kind of
kind.
raising myself.
No, you weren't.
Turning on the TV, started, just getting obsessed, sitting there with the Wonder Bread and 5 stacks of,
Hey, it's like the White
peanut
Stack
butter and
5 story.
Yeah, man.
macaroni and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
bro.
Oh,
You talking
yeah,
about-
brother.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I'm sure all the guys from the hood with the Getty family
Yep.
up in the hizzy. The Gettys.
That's unbelievable.
J. Paul Getty's probably coming up like, what's up? Word up, my homies. Come on, my shizzle. Shizzle, my nizzle. Where's your hot sauce, homies? Who's up here in the mac and cheese? You think he was going into South Central? Hey, man, I'm just sipping on some gin and juice in my 64. I laid back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind, baby.
He had to
Woo!
be that super annoying, stuck-up, snobby, rich kid in school.
Oh, did you see the pictures of him in high school?
Yeah, he looks like a douche. He's got
He
a
looks
scarf
like
on.
He looks like James Spader from Pretty in Pink.
Yes.
He's wearing Italian loafers with no socks.
Yes.
His hair is slicked back.
Yes.
He's calling everyone sport. He's got a scarf. He's a world-class douchebag who has no personality other than the personality he perceives other people wanting him to have when he's in the room with them.
Right.
So when he's in the room with the brothers, he starts talking about mac and cheese and sandwiches. And he goes, come on, man. Yeah, that guy. We're looking at a picture of him. He looks like the 6th Duran Duran member.
Right.
At this point. I'll go with James Spader and Pretty in Pink. I always liked that character. He'd smoke in the hallway.
Right.
And he'd pull Ducky Boy aside. He'd pull what's his name?
I know, Andrew something.
Andrew,
McCarthy.
right. Yeah, he'd pull him aside and go, the game is played, don't you, sport?
Yeah.
And he'd go, why not? I like her. Yeah.
No, you can't be seen with
She
her.
comes from the other side of the tracks, okay? We remember what high school is like, and you want to date a chick, and your rich friend would pull you aside.
Yeah,
tell
they
you
always
couldn't-
have it.
You couldn't bang her.
God,
'Cause
he's such a...
She lived off of Van Nuys and Sherman Way. You know how that went? Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Well, let's talk about, quote, rigging the election. Newsom says Trump is rigging the election with federal poll monitors.
Yeah, I know.
mean, why not? California's voting rolls and mail-in ballots. It's just, it's a frickin' wreck. I'm grateful that there will be federal people helping with this vote, but Newsom says that it's because he wants to rig the election, and
Well, look, his thing is they do this whole thing. They treat folk like they're animals, and then they're the game warden. So you can't have a National Guard on the street. It's going to agitate these people. They speak agitate, upset, anger, and then they're going to lash out. But it's basically like you're talking about an animal. Like you would say, you can't do this because that, like animals are like, you can't wear red, the bull will charge at you. Or you can't do this and then try to intimidate the lions. The lions will come out and protect their turf or whatever it is. So his whole thing is like, if you show up, you're going to agitate the animals. And my thing is like, if you're not up to anything illegal, then what do you care?
what do you care?
Look, you go to SoFi Stadium. Security, and more security. You go through security to get there. There's security outside of SoFi. You're going to see a Rams game. You put your bag through security. Once you go in, there's more security. Are you intimidated? Are you agitated? Not if you're not up to anything.
Right.
You're not. If you're just there to bring your kids and watch a game, then you'll just sit down. And as a matter of fact, you're probably happy the security's there because that means the terrorists are not going to try to blow it up this weekend.
I was not happy when we went to that Dodgers game. Security took a full unopened pack of cigarettes from me.
Oh, that's
and
right.
I said, you said there's no smoking inside.
Right.
I'm an adult. I can follow the rules. I'm not
Yeah.
going to light a cigarette from the bleachers.
Right.
But
Wow.
no, they took it from me. I was not happy to see them. But check this out. So he told PBS that The move by Trump is to cast doubt on the potential victory of Proposition 50, the plan to redraw the state's congressional district lines to advantage Democrats. Have you seen this map? Have you looked at this map? You need to look at this new map that they're proposing.
So very simply, for people
election.
don't understand how the gerrymandering works, it's basically, it's like California is, let's just say, 40% Republican and 50 or 60% non-Republican or Democrat, right? So then, I guess in a fair world, whether it was politics or anything, like let's just say
the California special election,
you like the, I don't want to call them the San Diego. You like the Bolts, right?
Chargers. Yep.
Chargers. You like the Chargers. I like the Rams. And so I think if there were like us, we had fans in the room and we had 6 Rams fans and 4 Chargers fans, and then they're like, all right, we're going to go to the league office and make our case for wearing our home uniforms or whatever. Well, then all you would hope for is to have 4 of those people making your team's argument, and there'd be 6 would be mine.
Right.
But the way gerrymandering works is there's 4 Chargers fans, there's 6 Rams fans, but when they get to the league office, there's going to be 9 Rams fans and 1 Charger fan, and he's not going to stand a chance of getting the home uniforms thing to sway it the Chargers' way.
Right.
And that's basically the plan. It goes on everywhere, but that's what we're saying. We're saying, could we have some representation?
And they want to give us less and less. Now, what they are trying to do, I don't think that what they have done is they basically drew Marin County up into Shasta County or Butte County, where it's 90% Republican voters.
Right.
But now they're bleeding it out with people in Marin, and that's a 300-mile drive.
Right. And they will be represented by Democrats, the folks that are Republicans.
And it will essentially rig elections. So once again, Newsom is saying that the other side is doing something while he is doing it himself.
Yes.
Like he says he supports firefighters. I'm in support of firefighters. Well, then no, they don't get a raise. He vetoed it.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't.
We need more water. Of course we do. But I'm going to shut off all the water and let it run into the ocean because we need to save the smelt.
Yeah, and Dawson has sampled the Delta smelt.
I have.
He, like Newsom, with his hard Scrabble upbringing, had a smelt sandwich. Yeah. Wouldn't you guys use smelt sandwiches?
No, that we just eat them almost like they were fish sticks.
Oh, really?
Just the whole thing. You grab the tail.
Deep fry or anything?
They were deep fried, yeah. My mom would put a little batter on them.
A little batter on them.
A little batter, deep fried. One of the ways she did it was she'd season them and then put them in a baking pan and just broil them.
I know how you're doing on news, but I got a Mike August story.
Please do. She told us they were French fries, and that's how she got us to eat them.
They're not gutted or anything, right? It's just whatever's in them.
I think they're clean. Well, I have to ask my mom. I think
they're too small to
scale
and gut and stuff,
because
right?
we ate the tail and all.
So I was. Are you done with the news, by the way?
Sure.
Oh, you don't have to be. I mean, you got another story.
I got through what I really wanted to get through, though there is a funny thing about Chicago mayor spazzing out over the racist term illegal alien.
Let's do it. That guy's off the fucking charts. It's just weird.
Yeah, he said he was asked about illegal aliens, which is the legal term for a person illegally in America. Johnson called the term racist, and then also sarcastically suggested that we should call all black people slaves.
It always goes back there. They can't go 10 minutes without bringing up slavery or this. We'll listen.
We are the only country who fought a war to end slavery. We're done.
There's something wrong with him, although he's just dumb. He's not a sociopath. All right, keep going.
You think he's no, I mean, he's definitely dumb.
Yeah, he's not as dumb as like Maxine Waters, but he's dumb.
Okay.
In a sense, yes. There's a kind of stupidity which gives you a lot of bravado.
And he's got it.
He's got that kind of stupidity, which is he doesn't care what he sounds like.
The ones that I talk to, that I communicate with, mostly black and brown, actually, tell me that you don't seem to know the difference between illegal aliens and real Chicago citizens. They feel that you are siding with the illegal aliens over them in their communities. And sadly,
William, let's get to the question.
Let's get to the question. The real question is simply this. I don't know how to make it any more direct. An illegal alien from Nicaragua grabbed a woman on the north side last week, bashed her head into the sidewalk, knocked her unconscious, and raped her.
I hate it.
If that had been your wife, Stacey.
Okay, all right, we're not going to answer. Thank you. Thanks, William.
Would you want ICE to deport her?
All right, let's move on.
Yeah, we're going to move on.
We're going to move on. Yeah, it isn't like a legal alien. Here's the thing. If you are right, I mean, like, here's what I'm saying. I've yelled this to Drew many times. Why are we constantly messing with the language if we are correct in whatever we're pushing forward? Do you know what I'm saying? So why do we go, like, for instance, in extreme, we call it donating your eggs, but it's selling your eggs. So why are we saying donating?
Right.
By the way, you are selling your eggs, ladies. You're not donating your eggs. As a matter of fact, you are doing the opposite of donating your eggs. You're selling your eggs.
Right.
I mean, it's as insane as if I sit home and somebody said, oh, hey, you got a new truck. Yeah. I go, what'd you do with your last truck? I donated it. You donate. I saw it for sale for 17 grand.
Right.
Yeah, I donated it.
Yep.
You donated it? Yeah. For $17,000?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, what'd you do with the money? Oh no, I kept the money.
Yeah.
Or you didn't give it to the March of Dimes? No, I donated my truck. Okay. You're lying.
Yeah.
Now, I know you don't like the notion of selling your eggs. It doesn't sound good to you.
It doesn't.
So you gave it a new name. So you gave it a new name.
Right.
And wildly inaccurate new name, which is the opposite of the truth.
Yeah.
But other than that, we're batting 1,000.
I believe there is a law against selling body parts. Like you're not allowed to sell parts of your body, so they donated.
All right, and then when it comes to getting rid of illegal aliens, that sounds like something most Americans would be for, but getting rid of our unhoused migrant worker neighbors are undocumented. Undocumented sounds like you're going to be documented or you forgot your documents.
Yeah.
These are illegal aliens. But here's my bigger question, whether it's that or whatever it is you're putting your spin on. Like, hey, we don't want to provide the abortion pills because Hobby Lobby doesn't roll that way. That's not attacking women's reproductive rights. That is just not giving them a free abortion pill.
Right.
So all of the euphemistic spin, why do you need to put the euphemistic spin on everything if you're right? Well, the answer is you're not right. People that, your gender assigned at birth. It's not your gender is not assigned at birth. You're a boy or a girl, you fucking retards. But why do you have to do, they're going to redo, they're trying to deny gender affirming surgery. No, we're trying not to have retarded 13-year-olds get their pecker cut off. But why do you guys have to twist all the verbiage all the time? And the answer is because you're wrong. Because the right doesn't mess around with the verbiage. They just say what it is. You guys twist everything all the time, which means you don't have a point. Or your point is wrong. All right, we'll have Brandon, I think.
We don't have illegal aliens.
No.
I don't know if that's from some sort of sci-fi message that you would have had. Well, listen, the legal term for my people were slaves. You want me to use that term too? So look, let's just get the language right. We're talking about undocumented individuals that are human beings. The last thing that I'm going to do is accept the type of racist, nasty language to describe human beings.
There we go. Shut everybody up by calling him racist.
He's a retarded
It's stopping to work. It's not working anymore.
Agreed. All right.
I want to hear a Mike August story. You got one?
Yeah, I'll do it real quick.
All right.
So I talked to Mike. Mike was out here last week on Friday, and then I spent the day with him on Saturday, and then he told me when he left on Friday, he goes, I couldn't make it back to Orange County, so I stopped and saw that Bruce Springsteen movie, which by all accounts is a snore fest, but I don't know. So far, Mike said it was boring, and I read a couple of reviews saying it was kind of boring. So I said, well, tell me about it.
What did you say? 1, 2, 3.
How boring was it? So he goes, it was all about him making that Born in the USA record.
Right.
And I go, oh. Now, he had seen the movie in the movie theater 14 hours earlier.
Okay.
And I have not seen the movie.
Okay.
So I go, Born in the USA? And he goes, yeah. And I go, it was about making Born in the USA? And he goes, yeah. And I go, I thought it was about Nebraska. He goes, oh, one of the songs on that album.
Yeah, and I probably think of Born to Run.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. So he goes, I go,
Born to Run was his big breakthrough. Go on.
So I go, no, it wasn't on that album, Mike. And he goes, well, one of the Born in the USA, Nebraska, it was about one of the songs from the Born in the USA album.
No.
I go, no, Nebraska was its own album. That was its album. Well, it was one of those songs. I go, no, Mike, Nebraska's album. They made the album before Born in the USA, and it was like dark and moody and whatever. And then Born in the USA had a bunch of hits on it, and that was after, so it was different. And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, you just sat in the theater. And
yeah.
Nebraska was 1982, and Born in the USA was 84. And then I started thinking I was taking crazy pills, so I had to go to Born in the USA, and I was like looking at song cuts and stuff. Is Nebraska a song on Born? I don't think so. I mean, I'm not such a student of the boss that I know everything. I just know, and I'd heard that the movie is a slice of his life while he was making the album Nebraska.
Okay.
That's all I heard. But of course, Mike was in the theater 12 hours ago, so he might know better than me. Turns out, somehow Born in the USA came out of Mike's mouth.
Doesn't that make you feel good, though, that
it does.
That Mike August is Mike August across the board is always, you can count on him. You can always count on him to be Mike
Even
August.
with a 65-foot screen, it's not enough to penetrate. And then at some point he explained, and I like this, he got so bored that he pulled his phone out, and some hipster came up from 2 rows back and walked around and told him to shut his phone off. It was it's just trying. I can picture that exchange with Mike being bored.
He would tell him how much the movie sucks.
Yeah. And, yeah.
That's great.
All right. You can go to Flappers. That'll be Wednesday coming up.
I'll be with you.
Oh, yeah. Dawson's going to be there. We'll do it right here in Burbank. And then Boston, Mass. The Wilbur. It's a beautiful theater. That'll be on the 6th. And that's November 6th. And then the 7th, Buffalo, Electric City. You can go to adamcarolla.com for all the live dates. Until next time, Adam Carolla with Charlie Sheen and Dawson saying mahalo.